Hello?
What's up, girl? What happened after Tony dumped you?
Girl, I'm over it. I went from heartbreak to hate.
Hi, Bob.
Why'd you do that? You knew I was going to choke.
That's why I did that.
Oi, Joy. How's your life?
Good right this instant.
I can tell.
Yes.
Smiles and happiness and sternum cracking.
I mean, it's a good, yes, sternum cracking. It's been a good evening thus far.
Yeah.
We've got sugar, we've got chocolate.
We've got caffeine.
You know.
We've got other potentially legal drugs. We got nicotine.
We got nicotine.
We got the high.
We saw
that
cute
is,
boys.
The high that is getting a tattoo.
We don't always see cute boys when we're out.
No, we don't.
So when we see
Not
them,
well, at least one we both agree on.
that is also a true statement. That's
because I see something and I'm like, I'm not gonna bring it up to her because she's gonna be like, no, he's not ginger. I don't want it.
And it's not just. Will you stop? You're more obsessed about the ginger than I am, quite frankly.
I know it's been a while for me. You know.
I mean,
sometimes you like you were with a good playlist. You were saying earlier. You want to go back and revisit it.
You're giving me a hard time because I didn't listen to last week's podcast. I was there. I don't have to listen to it. I was there for the magic.
I mean, but our numbers significantly went down because you didn't sit there and listen to it 32 times in a row, so we can get our numbers up like you normally do. Just kidding. We never get 32 listens anyway, but
we don't never get them.
Well, we have. Yeah.
Thank you.
Remember the winter when California really loved us?
They really did. What went so wrong? Maybe it's only a winter thing.
Maybe they're just, maybe they feel sorry for us in the wintertime while it's all sunny in California.
Right.
Anyway, last week we talked about 80's dating.
And now
we're talking about 90's dating.
There it is. That's where all the dating magic began.
Ooh.
I don't know if I would call it magic, but that's where I started dating. We'll put it that way.
So there was this whole thing that happened late 80s, early 90s when it became really big, and that was VHS dating.
Yeah. Tell the people about it. They don't even know what a VHS is.
So you would go to this agency that is created to make you happy, much like Match.com, much like other dating apps. A lot of the dating apps are not for dating, they're for fucking. So let's just be real about that. But back in the good old wholesome 80s and 90s,
right.
You go down, you could pick up a VHS tape, come back, watch 6 young studs in various mullets.
Oh, we have to talk about what was that was called Studs. Do you remember that show?
Oh, there was a show called Studs.
Put a pin in it. We'll come back.
Okay.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah. Yeah. Chocolate's got her going. So you can watch this videotape. You say, oh, I want number 10352 because they had numbers. And then you could contact that one person and go on a date with them.
It sounds like, I mean, as you're sitting there describing it, it sounds like the most inefficient way to date ever. But at the time, it was revolutionary.
Right. I mean, the only thing more inefficient is finding out at 16 that your parents sold you into marriage 16 years ago in another country that you don't even live in anymore. Like, that happens.
I mean, hopefully not much anymore.
It still happens. I get that once or twice a week.
I was like, go ahead and you finish that.
So, video dating.
Yeah.
Most revolutionary thing ever.
Mm-hmm.
After Love Connection.
Yes, look, there are so many good things.
Mm-hmm.
The Love Connection.
That was in the 80s.
It was the 80s, but
it was a lot of fun. You could really talk bad about somebody on TV, and I loved every second of it.
And it also didn't have a revival in the 90s. I feel like it did.
Had a revival. It has a revival every decade, I think. But no one will ever be as hot as Chuck Woolery. That's just it.
Okay. And then, if we get back to my favorite, was Studs. Studs was brought to you by the 90s. It was like, we're going to do this for the young, hip kids. And man, I don't remember much other than just it was so ridiculous. Like Love Connection was a little bit more wholesome,
Right.
and like
Mm-hmm.
and Studs was just like, I want to fuck you.
Right. Well, and I think it's when we really got like what a bro really was.
It's true.
Like nowadays.
Yeah.
Like bros before, you could be like fat, you could be whatever. It was just a man, being rude, blah 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 blah. But in the 90s, we got these good-looking, gelled to the fucking max hair.
Oh yeah. Oh, put together.
Mean, yeah, Jersey Shore type shit.
Absolutely.
They were all in shape. They were all, most
wearing
not
silk
all
shirts.
silk shirts with the good deodorant because they weren't sweating through. Yeah,
Oh, the
and
amount
then
of silk that was used in the 90s. Can we talk about it?
and hypercolor.
Always some just
That would be a good way to find out if someone liked
unnecessarily
you.
bright
Hypercolor.
color. Hypercolor. Sorry, continue.
Yeah, so we also had Singled Out in the 90s. That was
I don't remember that one. Give me more.
Jenny McCarthy.
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
MTV,
Yes,
Singled
I do.
Out.
Yes, I do.
Yeah.
Wow. We had all the ways to find love, and I put that in air quotes because we weren't really
Only one air quote too.
Well, it's too lazy to raise the other hand.
The other end's open.
Oh, but the 90s. The 90s are when I first started dating.
Oh, what noise was that? That sounded like a backseat finger bang. What happened in the 90s on your dates?
No, that was like supposed to be like a little purr. And sorry, I was taking a moment to reminisce. Yeah, so let's see. I mean, the 90s were pretty tame for me, if I'm really honest. Like overall, compared to others.
Compared to others who?
Compared
To others who were fucking married men.
I was gonna say,
To others who were giving blowjobs in the basements of tattoo shops while albino python watched him. I mean,
yeah, right. As compared to that, Bob.
I wonder how my mom's doing today.
Oh, but no, I mean, the 90s were like my dating started then, but it was very innocent at first because it was like the 90s.
It was dating.
I was in middle school. It wasn't even like full dating. It was like send the note or, you send your representative.
Right.
Okay. Paul wants to go out with you, or Paul wants to go together. Do you want to go together? And then you send your representative back to the person's friend because you never talk to each other directly. Then you send the notes. Then you get to the dance and you like work up the nerve to have a dance. And it's like, it was just really kind of ridiculous, but wholesome and sweet.
I mean, the 90s were still more wholesome. I mean, we were getting there. Like
They were, yeah, it depends on your age, right?
Right. Because, I mean, I was in high school in the 80s. So high school stuff happened for me in the 80s. But, like, I graduated early on in the 90s. So my 90s...
You are not that much older than me. Were you in high school in 89?
Yes, I was.
Okay, I was going to say.
In the motherfucking 80s.
In 1 year of the 80s. See, it's like...
You don't know if I was held back.
Anyway.
Anyway, so I graduated high school, college, all that happened before even 95. So, we're a little bit different in ages.
Just a smidge. But anyways, as I progress on in my journey, then then in high school...
She's acting. She's literally acting. I feel like there's a performance going on here. Y'all don't even know. Like, her eyes are twinkling. Her head's moving. She's feeling it. She's giving it to you.
I am trying to, like, take you back with
She brings it to you every week.
I'm trying to take you on a journey into my life.
Oh. Okay, so here's Little Joy.
Uh-huh.
And Little Joy is on her first date.
My first real date.
Yeah, what age were you?
See, here's the thing. Real dates did not occur early in high school.
Right.
Because it was kind of like, you'd go for a walk together, or you know what I mean? Like you'd meet up at a dance. I don't feel like that counts as a real date.
I mean, the thing of it is all relationships are being in close proximity of the person you like, right?
Yeah, that's true. But when I think of a date, I think of something very traditional, like The guy, I'm sorry, I can't help myself. We've had this fight before, but
Here
it's
we
like the guy picks you up, you go someplace, you know what I mean, for a certain amount of time.
That
You
he
hang
pays
out.
for.
I didn't even say that. Maybe you give him a kiss, maybe not. Get in the car, go back home.
Maybe a hug? No hug?
Well, hugs aren't romantic. Nobody's like, oh, give me that good hug. They want a kiss, at least.
Okay.
I don't know why you're like looking up at the sky like that's the craziest thing I've ever
No,
seen.
I'm imagining you in a Ford LTD on your first date.
No, my first real date, I would say, it was not a Ford. I believe it was a Honda Civic-like
Ooh,
type vehicle.
nice.
But the 90's version, so.
Right.
Very boxy.
Right.
Teal color. Look at that. Look at that for details. You usually don't remember shit. I remember that teal car. I was in that teal car a lot. But anyways, that's neither here nor there. We don't have to get into the rest of it. What was the original point of your question?
Did you kiss him at the end of the night?
I did not. Because I was so innocent and pure. No, because I was super shy.
Side note, let's take a flashback to when Bob actually met Joy. Joy was pretty fucking innocent and pure. And we're talking about, this was 2000.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's
so
still
the
a true
90s
story.
was still pretty pureness for Joy.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. That was a whole nother life, man.
Yeah, that was different. It's a different person.
Completely different. Wow. I just had a full outer body experience. But yeah, very, very innocent. And he was playing shy, is what I now know. Okay.
Ah.
At the time I thought, oh, he's really shy too. No, he's not. No, playing. Lies. And then on the second date, we were actually walking around the mall. Was part of the date.
Right.
And I was the first one to hold his hand. And
Did you do it out in front of the Limited? Or
I don't remember.
Fashion Bug wasn't in the mall. Was that
I don't think it was, but Limited was there.
Limited?
It was so many versions of the mall ago. Before the big
Camelot
expansion.
Music.
Oh my gosh. I think that we still did have or was it Coconut or whatever it had
You had
changed?
Coconut Records here.
I think we did. We had that one store had 3 different names.
Okay.
But anyways.
Virgins.
We digress
there's all
again.
kinds of them. Yes.
So the hand holding, he's very shocked. We worked up to the kiss on the 3rd day. And this is why. It's because all this time, innocent as I was, I had not yet French kissed. I had only ever kissed on the lips. And so I was petrified of how that was going to go.
But you knew in your soul you're Creole. So the Frenching is there naturally.
You're a mess. I don't believe I thought of it that way.
Let me think about this genetically. Down to my molecules.
But no, I mean, like, that's the good stuff.
But did you French on the first kiss?
Yes.
She jumped. She skipped.
Yes. But I mean, it took me up to the 3rd date to get there.
But you didn't kiss before the 3rd date.
No.
So you didn't kiss, like, on the cheek. You didn't kiss, like, on the neck. You didn't lips. You didn't penis. You just went right to sticking the tongue in the mouth.
Yeah.
Tramp.
Hussy.
All those horrible words for promiscuous women.
Yeah.
Nice, though.
Yeah.
I mean, did you get anything out of it? I alluded to an Auntie Anne's pretzel.
I mean, it was amazing. Well, it was amazing and horrible at the same time, right? Because the whole time your brain is going, oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. Oh my God, I don't know what I'm doing. And then you're also like, oh my God, it finally happened.
Yeah.
Because I was quite literally a schoolgirl. So, I mean, what else do you expect? That's kind of what goes through a innocent schoolgirl's mind.
So that was the last time you saw him, right?
No, it was not. It wasn't.
You didn't tongue and run?
No tongue and run. Nope, that actually turned into...
Ding dong dick?
It did not turn into ding dong dick. Because, as you remember, at the time, I was saving myself.
Oh, that's right. I forgot that part.
Yeah, that's right. I still believed. Because there was a resurgence at the time in the Christian movement of the true love waits. Because it was like thought that, we had become too promiscuous and people didn't wait. So there was like a big push for everything that was like youth oriented was like
Right.
true love
True
waits,
love
true love
waits.
waits, true love waits. They were just like
People
get you a
were
promise ring,
getting class rings, wrapping. It reminds me. Do you want to wear my class ring? I have it around here. I still have my class ring. It's one thing I have from high school.
I'd love to wear your class ring, but yeah. So they were getting you saying class rings. People were calling them promise rings, and the promise was that you were gonna wait until marriage. So
Jonas Brothers before Jonas Brothers didn't do it.
exactly. So like that's the thing is like on the one hand you had studs, and on the other hand you had people like promising to.
I think it's the clothing.
You think it's the clothing?
I mean,
give me more on that, please.
So, y'all, I'm pointing to women. You loved wearing those gigantic cardigan sweaters, which I still love doing because I'm still a 90s girl. And then like a turtleneck with the chain over the turtleneck.
Oh yeah. So it can hang down.
So you can hang down and show.
Yeah.
But with some Umbro shorts on, some Stack socks, some Eastland shoes.
Listen. We're gonna take a diversion from love.
Okay.
And we're gonna go into one of my pet peeves. I need people to choose a temperature. Okay. Nothing irks me more than when a bitch is in a cardigan or a full ass sweatshirt and then his Daisy Dukes. Like, bitch, no, you're either cold.
That's me.
Or
I do that.
you're not.
I love wearing a cardigan sweater and t-shirt and shorts and flip flops.
No, all of that is wrong.
Out to the bar. I'll do that to the bar. I'll go to the bar like that. I don't
know
care.
you will. I know.
They know me there. They know I'm a fool. But it's when the winter when the summer's like closing in, it's getting fall, like you get 20-degree shifts in an evening sitting out in a beer garden. You gotta have shorts.
Okay. So I guess everybody just has strong legs that can withstand
I
all
have
this
pretty
coldness.
thick legs.
And
They're more muscle than fat, actually. But yeah, no.
Cold ass arms.
I have feeble 80-year-old arms. And the thing is, like, I used to be one of those people that would wear a hoodie in every single fucking temperature. Like, if it was 30 below, I didn't wear a coat. I just wore my hoodie. In the summertime, it's 98 degrees. What's that motherfucker doing in a hoodie? That's me. My ecosystem was just always on the same. I was never sick. I was so young. So young. I mean, I did that shit up until the mid-2000s. But then, anyway. Why are we even talking about this?
I don't know. We got a diversion. We were talking about true love waiting, and then you said
my point was boom.
Yes, cardigans and
nothing
turtles.
Sexy about that outfit. Even though I sport it today, I still don't feel I'm sexy in it. I just feel like I'm comfortable. And comfortableness is not sexiness.
Well, we know that's true. There's like the whole saying said quite often: "Pain, beauty is pain," right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So. I don't know. Anyways, there you have it.
That was your entire dating life
well,
in the 90s?
Well, no, I mean, that was like, the best parts of it.
So what else happened in the 90s? We got more affordable answering machines. So a lot of more people had those. We got caller ID, so you had to stop.
Yes, no more.
The previously mentioned call 20 times so you get the nut to
Plus,
actually
everybody
talk.
was excited about Star 69. I don't even know if the kids today know what that is.
Do you know what Star 69 is? Not if you do. So there was a whole set of numbers. I don't even remember them all. There was 60. I remember 67, obviously. 69.
Yeah.
And 69 was the callback.
Callback,
right?
yeah. Figure out who just called you and hung up.
Mm-hmm.
And people would do it with a vengeance too. You just call here. I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, because Star 67 was where you could call and it would tell you the number, right? Or
I never used that one.
Continue amongst yourselves.
Oh, okay. So yeah, there were multiple things, and we got excited when we knew there were codes we could use. So, and then we were about to discuss that at the very end of the 90s, cell phones became more readily available. Not that they hadn't already been available, but at the end of the 90s, they started to get cheaper, where people started to kind of figure. I don't even remember what the plans were like at the time. It was expensive, but more people had it because it was this new exciting thing.
Yeah.
You could be out and about and call somebody or text somebody.
It was $3 a minute.
It was
Text? You're drunk. No, I didn't have no text. I had a bag phone. There was no texting on a bag phone.
I'm talking about my original Prime Co phone. I think had texting on it.
In the 2000s.
Probably.
You
in
had
the
T9. I can tell you what you
Yes,
had.
that's right. T9 was revolutionary. People
Right.
was like, you mean I don't have to hit the one
Right.
kitten?
No, you're on
T3
T9.
different times.
I remember my first text message on a Nokia phone. But that's the 2000s.
Okay, sorry. Save it for next week.
Star 67 blocked your phone number so no one knew you were calling.
Yeah. Okay. All right, now that we've covered that. So,
All that about phones. Was that even interesting? You tell us. You let us know.
yeah. We need people to interact with us more.
Yeah, I want you guys. Tell me what you guys. I mean, other people got like a whole like legions of people telling them, "Oh, I want to hear this. Oh, I want you to talk about that." Blah 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 blah.
Nobody
What are you doing,
responds.
Sven? I know you got time. Tell us. Or other fans that might be listening.
Right. We don't know your name yet because you haven't interacted with us.
Maybe there's a Brenda who listens to us and she's got really mad at how many times you called somebody a Brenda.
I have not used that name, but maybe one time. We always change the names. All right.
Okay, whatever.
Cindy.
Cindy.
I think we've used Cindy a couple
A few
times.
times. Especially 'cause Cindy Brady's racist. But so where were we?
We were just trying to navigate the complicated labyrinth that was love in the 90s, or dating, as it were.
So I had multiple things in the 90s.
Mm-hmm.
So I had gay relations, obviously,
Right.
but I also had a girlfriend, my very last girlfriend. Hey, Jen. She rounded out my 90s.
Okay.
98 was her fate.
And what was that like?
What do you mean?
Like,
I mean, I'd slept with other girls before, but this was just my last girl.
I mean, but like, did you guys go on actual dates? Were you doing the full
It was
enchilada?
college. It was college love.
Okay. Yeah.
Dorm rooms.
Poor love, basically, is more like
sex in dorm rooms.
Okay.
Getting angry when I'm talking to a barista at a cafe kind of stuff, telling me her dad's going to kill me because he's in the mafia kind of stuff.
Wow.
Hey, Jen. How's life?
Intense.
Yeah. So.
Right then.
So that was, I mean, I was all over the place in the 90s.
Yeah.
Married men,
Mm-hmm.
other people.
Yeah. I'm guessing, like, men who weren't out, like, down low.
Oh, yeah.
Besides married men, even.
Down low, but would pretend to be gay, flirt with me when, other people were around. So it was like, because I was out, so people knew I was gay. So it wasn't like two down low guys going at it.
Right.
Like, people fantasize about on all these gay apps. But, yeah, it was a sad time. It's a bad time in my life. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Okay. Moving right along then.
So, cell phones we talked about.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think people started like being more interested in status things? Because in the 80s only rich people had things. In the 90s things it's kind of like art in your home. Like before it was only rich people had it. Now over the years people make stuff that you can purchase that's not that expensive.
Mm-hmm.
So but like we started like having beepers, having specific types of shoes more.
Yeah.
All the clothes it wasn't just shoes anymore. It was every single bit of clothing had to have a name on it.
It was all the things.
You had to have your pants tight rolled.
Mm-hmm.
So
You had to have your in the 90s, you even had to have, I think FUBU started then.
Yes.
Probably near the, yeah.
It was like
So-
a Maurice's thing. I didn't even realize it was like some kind of hip hop related thing, but like women, all girls had FUBU fucking shirts. I don't know what.
Yeah. And yeah, it was definitely, I think, for, me, since most of it was in high school and then just started in college.
Right.
A lot of people were on like any status symbol. I think you're right. That's definitely a thing. Like a lot of people still didn't have a car, so it wasn't as big of
Right.
a deal. But then you had to have brand name clothes. Like you had to have I only dress in FUBU, or I only dress in I forget what the hell other shit people had. But
Tommy Hilfiger rolled around about
Yes,
that time. That was something that was
all of
big in the
that.
black community.
yeah, you are so stupid when you say that. And
I
then
mean,
look,
it's
but you
true.
say that and you look at me with the big eyes, like. But yeah, and it was like, or I only wear Converse
Eastlands.
or whatever kind of
British
shoes.
Knights came and went in the 90s.
Yeah, it was all of the things. And I actually remember one of the guys that I dated when we broke up. He was like, you know what? I just gotta say, like, you never. I appreciate that you never. It would never have meant anything to you. Like, you didn't care about brand names. But yeah, he was just like, that stuff never mattered to you, because he would show up in things and I'd be like, oh, what is this? And he would be like, it's XYZ brand, and I'd be like, oh, okay, and then right on to the next. Exactly.
So you never asked for a Fossil watch?
No,
Because we went from Swatch watches to Fossil watches.
Yes, that's true. No, I never asked for expensive things. I never cared.
My best friend bought me a Fossil watch for Christmas one year.
Well, that's nice.
Mm-hmm.
I also do think, though, that the 90s were very much the personalized gifts of it all.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Engrave your name on a chain.
Oh, yeah.
Engrave anything.
Engrave
Personalize anything.
Yeah, I mean, I'm talking about my
get
class
yourself
ring,
down
man.
to that little booth in the mall and get something engraved.
If you looked at my class ring, which you could if we were in my bathroom, but we're not. And so my class ring had my astrological sign on it.
Uh-huh.
And the peace symbol.
Ooh, look at you.
Yeah, so if I was murdered in the 90s, they would have thought I was a teenage witch, which would have been accurate.
Do you know how many years ago I lost my high school ring? It's a good thing I only spent $70 on that bitch.
Was it in a hole?
Nah, it was not in a hole, you smart ass.
Oh, that's right. Okay.
But anyways.
Did you have your birthstone?
I think I did. I think it did, but it was like definitely the cheapest ring. I told you this story about how I had to pay for everything my senior year, so it was always the cheapest fucking thing.
Yeah.
Because when you're 17, who has any fucking money? Not me.
No.
No, because you're working for minimum wage, which is like $5 an hour.
Fuck you. I was making
$3.75
$3.75 when I was working at Dairy Queen.
That is the fucking worst. It was $5.15. And then I did at one point have an internship where I made like $10 an hour, and I didn't know what to do with myself. I was going to lose my fucking mind.
Wow.
It was like 10 hours a week. So anyways, I digress. So I wasn't buying fancy brand name shit. And so I didn't give a fuck.
Well, I was fat, and they didn't make fat people's clothes and brand names.
No, that was still the time.
They made bum equipment for sweatshirts. I had the green one.
They were still making fat lady clothes for like tense, ugly colors.
And them like you had to be 85 to pull this off.
Basically. There was no we care about any other decade.
They still had the husky section for the fat boys.
Oh, we've discussed that before. I can't go into it. But
huskies are svelte animals. Anyway,
So yeah, so maybe that's one reason why we didn't care so much about fancy brand name things, because clothing wise didn't apply.
Right. But that was a thing, though. That was how you peacocked for people, like sporting your whatever fucking Jordans that was still going on at the time. That was something, a Bulls jersey. If a motherfucker didn't have a Bulls jersey, did he have a penis? I don't know. I don't. Or one of those, when those horrible NFL like winter jackets came around. You don't remember
yes,
that? Like
yes.
it had all the colors of it. Yeah, on the back.
No.
I remember people had like the Vikings and shit like that. And I was
So
near St. Louis, and I don't believe they even had a football team at the time. No, they didn't. Anyway,
that's horrible. Let's get away from clothes. This
Okay.
feels like a sad,
so
depressing.
did you learn anything about dating in the 90s? In general, or about yourself?
I think by the end of the 90s, yeah, I had figured out, I don't know if this true love wait shit's for me.
I think everyone comes to that conclusion.
Yes. True love waits for me, honestly, would have worked if I had gotten married at the age of 23.
Even then, though? Yeah, I guess even then.
Yeah, because,
I knew you were 22, yeah.
Yeah. Could have made it.
Could have made it.
But,
No. So if you had a chance to be a whore
Okay.
in the 90s, would you have been a whore? Would you want to have been a whore?
Given my personality, I'm going to have to give you a no on that. Because even when I started having sex, I was always
2 weeks ago.
super paranoid that I was going to end up pregnant. Because that was the other big thing.
Well, that was what,
right?
yeah.
Like they just throw this idea that anytime you have
it
it
didn't exist at all.
Well, you know what I mean, but they're like, oh, and it's never 100%. The only thing that's 100%
is
So
abstinence.
I had all of that paranoia swimming in my head strong, I tell thee. If I was like an hour late on a birth control pill,
True.
I was like, I'm gonna be pregnant tomorrow.
Oh. Do you know how many times I would have been pregnant in the 90s?
And remember that to be beautiful and natural is the birthright of every woman. And I wish you all loads and loads of loveliness and good luck.